All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here, bringing your daily horoscope for Wednesday, the 17th of March, 2021. We've got the moon moving through the middle degrees of Taurus. The moon exalted in Taurus, stable, solid ground. We're in interesting times as we're coming from the moon conjunct Uranus, which is expect the unexpected kind of energy happening. Okay, and that's happening in a place where we should feel calm and steady and productive. Okay, so we're coming away from the moon conjunct Uranus, and now we're headed to the moon square to Saturn up in Aquarius. Okay, so Uranus rules Aquarius. So it's a similar kind of energy where instead of that breakthrough release kind of a thing that's going on with the conjunction of Uranus, the square to Saturn is about a little bit of pressure. Okay, and asking us to stay focused, to stay disciplined while going through change, that we must be active, that we must be a participant in creating the change in our lives. Although a lot of the Mercury, Neptune, Sun, and Venus all in Pisces telling us to go inward, telling us to meditate, telling us to get insight from spirit. Okay, this energy of our emotional needs says we must be an active participant in order to gain that knowledge, in order to gain that insight, in order to find whatever clarity it is that we're seeking. Okay, and that's early in the morning at 5 a.m. Okay, here in Eastern Standard Time, but of course, you know where you're at. This might be midday for you wherever you are in the world. As the moon moves away from the square to Saturn. Okay, we're going to start picking up a little bit of a break for one midday. And then as we go into our evening, right there, it's really, at the end of our night here on Wednesday evening. But again, it depends on wherever you're at in the world. We've got 3 planets at 20 degrees. Okay, we have Jupiter at 20 degrees creating a semi-sextile to Neptune. These are our 2 planets of expansion. Okay, Jupiter can expand within the limitations of Saturn. Neptune can expand outside the limitations of Saturn. There are no limits here, right? The sky is the limit, and to infinity and beyond. Okay, so this is a double whammy here. It's a really interesting aspect for the moon to be at, whatever time you're feeling this. We'll be feeling this as the day moves along. So coming from a place of pressure and saying that we must actively participate in this, to now making a connection with both of our planets of expansion. Okay, where Jupiter's kind of the magnifying glass saying, what do I see here in the community where I need to be an active participant? How can I help out? How can I be a solid, stable individual to add value and depth to the community? Okay, so that's the square. Okay, this is saying I must balance myself, my emotional needs, my wants, loves, and desires for things or material possessions or money, my need for money, my need, okay? And again, connecting with the community, saying what we need in this end, there's a balance, that comes from over here, saying to bring focus on the community itself. Maybe what I have to offer here is something that the community needs, and I have to get outside of my, that ego bubble we talked about yesterday. Okay, and we see here a perfect sextile from Mars over here to Chiron as well. Okay, we'll talk about that more in a second. As the moon is also creating a sextile to Neptune, our other planet of expansion, okay, outside of Saturn's limits, outside of the boundaries of Saturn. Okay, so this is us tapping into that source, tapping into spirit, bringing it down here, figuring out what we need, how we can be a stable individual, how we can navigate through the great change that's going on, and bring that stability into the community and add insight, to add knowledge, to help progress the community at large. Okay, so we're definitely adding some sort of stability, not just to ourselves, but maybe this is in a sense, if push comes to shove, if something is a difficult scenario, by us being grounded and emotionally stable during this, there's a potential, opportunity where somebody else in our environment sees how we can handle a certain aspect, or, like that confrontation in a mature, responsible kind of a way, and that could be one of these ways where that connection of the square, again, equaling balance, comes into play. Okay. And then again, we have, this crystal ball gazing kind of energy here where we're seeing, the light at the end of the tunnel, where we're seeking a place of self-discovery, seeking the places where we could have been wrong. How did we handle a situation that wasn't proper to how we would handle it now in the future? And allowing ourselves to forgive, seeking that aspect of truth in self, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others. Okay, and seeing that kind of the picture as a whole. All right, so all in all, emotionally stable day, but it does come with its challenges with the square to Saturn, adding a bit of pressure to ourselves. The square to Jupiter saying we must think about more than just our emotional needs, our wants, and the community at large. And when we do, we get to tap into that sense of spirit and source energy. And when we can, dream bigger. That's part of some of this energy that's going on with all the Pisces stuff is dream bigger, All right, my friends. That is our Wednesday. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.